Did you ever wonder what would happen if the Skibidi Multiverse went rogue and attacked humans on Earth? How would these events play out? Do you think that our current technology is advanced enough to even stand a chance against the mutants and titans in the series? Well, let's find out. To make it as interesting as possible, the Sinister will be the main villain at the top of the triangle. As the story progresses, from the base to the tip, he's going to send in the threats, and we'll see how the humans would be able to handle this. Firstly, he'll send in the base of the triangle, the toilets and mutants. As for the Skibidi song turning people into toilets, well, let's just say that it doesn't affect this breed of humans, and we've evolved to be resistant to it. So, the toilets come in full force and start wreaking havoc. The whole world is in a frenzy, and the military would be alerted. So, they'll come in with tanks and machine guns, and yeah, there would be some casualties and loss of property, but the army would be able to hold them off using intense firepower. I guess the toilets would not stand a chance, right? Yeah, with more troops, the toilets should be dealt with, saving the entirety of humanity from extinction. Now that that's done, the Sinister would notice that his first squad of attacks has been cleared. So, he'll send in the special agents alongside the Zeros. Here's where things get heated up. The agents would be able to fight more strategically, not like the toilets, which attack all at once. The agents would invade military bases and cause massive damage, especially with their clock abilities, like the large clockman and the clockwoman with the time gun. Yeah, things would not be as easy as the first fleet of random toilets. The agents would even be able to establish a base, and the assassin drill man would be the leader of the fleet. You could see that things would be more organized, but we all know that they are ultimately outnumbered because it's just them against multiple troops of soldiers. So, I guess the retaliation of the humans would not go too well for them, as they'll soon be outnumbered and run out of energy to fight back. Yeah, so although they were able to cause a lot of casualties and collateral damage, it wouldn't be enough to take on the entire army. So yeah, that's their stop. However, the Sinister realizes that the agents have failed in the mission. Notice here that when I said the Zeros, I didn't include the commander, and I guess the future clockman should not be classified as a normal agent either. So yeah, it's time to send in the super agents. The commander and future clockman would come in. I guess things wouldn't be all sunshine and rainbows anymore, as these agents possess unimaginable power with intense speed and super strength. Just imagine them both fighting against the army. So they'll send in tanks, jets and troops, and all their firepower wouldn't have any significant effect. Based on the fact that they both possess immense speed, they'll be able to evade the attacks. And yeah, with these levels of power, the army should be done for, right? Yeah, but not yet. You see, we humans are very curious about things. So we gathered all the technology, which we would have called alien technology, like the time gun from the clockwoman and other things we could gather. With a lot of trial and error on the specimens, we were able to replicate these weapons and even make them more powerful. With our current technology, we were able to make them into rifles, time bombs, and other things. Yeah, so with this, we'll be able to minimize failure, right? So the plan is to lure them into a trap where we would initiate a very strong time stop. They would have already come up with the machine, so when they are in range, it would be activated. Just as you probably guessed, the future clockman would be able to break free, right? So it would be only the commander still stuck, struggling to break free. But the humans still have a plan. They would have noticed that the clockwoman is of the same race as the Rolex clockhead guy. So they'll use it as a way to negotiate with an explosive device. Little did they know that he can just reverse time. But they had found out the counter for the time ability. Yeah, how did they know? By watching the series, of course. So they made a very strong magnetic field, the strongest they could ever produce, and luckily for them, it was able to nullify his abilities, keeping him in check. The clockwoman was just a distraction for the real attack. So with this, the humans were able to win against them. But the Sinister is not done yet. He sends in the full fleet of Titans. And yeah, I've already made a video where I showed how the army would be able to win against the Titans, so it would pretty much happen similarly, with the Titans giving all their best shots. But at the time of making this, a lot hasn't happened, and there are some Titans that have shown us even what they could do more. So it won't be nearly as easy when their daddy is around, as we saw how even one blast from the G-Man apocalypse, which I could call similar to a nuke explosion, was able to disintegrate the Titans. But snap, their daddy was able to bring them back. Also, we saw he has a new ability called Infinite Boost, so the army should better watch out for that against the Clock Titan. But since the Titans are now invading Earth, there will be more casualties, and all the lead scientists and engineers will have to come together and work to create more technology and machinery. I guess the war would bring us together, and instead of fighting against ourselves, we'll channel that energy into trying to survive against the Titans. They'll finally come up with a plan, but for this plan to work, they'll have to lure them to a dead zone where it won't have any impact on Earth, so fingers crossed. After retreating to this particular location to draw the Titans in, they'll circle around them and use an EMP with a very high capacity. So here, all the electronics in the parts of the Titans would malfunction. They won't be able to use shields, and then they'll go on to detonate the nukes, still blasting the EMP. I guess it'll be a suicide mission for the soldiers around the site, but yeah, it's to save the world. But somehow, the Clock Titan was able to teleport out of the battlefield. But because of the explosion, they didn't notice. Just when the world is celebrating the win, the Clock Titan would go on to revive all the obliterated Titans. Yeah, just imagine that. After sacrificing a lot, all the efforts got washed down the drain. From here on, it won't be easy for the humans, but they won't give up. They'll send in more tanks. But the scientists at the labs would realize, why don't we infect them with our AI? So that'll be the plan. They'll be able to create a giant robotic parasite that can fly onto them when they are distracted and inject the AI. With this, one by one, the Titans would infect each other, and the Clock Titan would be the hardest to infect. But all the Titans would have to hold him in place for the parasite to crawl into him from his core. He would have tried to uninfect them, but even if you remove the parasite, the AI program has already been written into the Titan. So that's it. They are now owned by the humans. The Clock Titan would obviously be holding back in the battle against the infected Titans. Eventually, the parasite would get him too. Since all the Titans are now owned by the humans, the Sinister would become infuriated and send in the final boss, the G-Man Apocalypse. Oh boy, this would literally send chills to the humans. How are they going to fight against this? But well, thankfully, they were able to infect the Titans, so they'll have to use them against him. So, less casualties, right? Wrong. As we saw, how just one slash from this fortress was able to disintegrate the pencil base to pieces. So, they should be up for a treat from G-Man. However, in the search for information on the moving fortress, the Alliance would be able to read the memories of the camera Titan from his files. They'll find out the location of Jimmy and even verify it using scans. So, instead of fighting against the massive fortress destroying their world, they'll deploy multiple drones and robots to infiltrate the G-Man. While in battle and he's distracted, these bad boys would be able to hack in. But the Skibidi's technology would be too hard to hack as they don't even understand the code. So they'll have to open the door manually. But obviously, it's a trap. When all the Titans get into the G-Man Apocalypse and the door closes, G-Man would retreat through a portal, taking the Titans with him. Although they'll try to track them, it won't be reachable. With this, all hope for humanity would be lost, as the Skibidis would have outsmarted them, using their tactics against them. So, the Skibidis would get control of the Titans. Although it won't be easy, what they didn't realize was that the humans actually knew about this plan and used a prototype of the Titans to fool the Skibidis. They found out about the plan in the files of the camera Titan beforehand. So, when the Skibidis bring back the prototype to attack, they'll all just shut down and cause a massive explosion. The real infected Titans would then come in and, together in a heated battle, would be able to locate Jimmy and smoke him. With this, the Sinister realizes that this is no mere planet. As in all the galaxies he's taken over, there's something about this one that is unique. Eventually, he'll start watching YouTube and seeing how beautiful the world was once before the invasion, seeing how much suffering it has caused. The Sinister would have to make an exception, as if he attacks, it would be the end for the Earth. So, I guess we made it. We were able to show the Sinister that we could work together as a team and unite to get a common goal. And yeah, he was satisfied with the entertainment. So, all the portals close and Earth starts rebuilding, eventually going back to normal. But I guess the Skibidi Multiverse still won, right? Yeah. However, check out this video to see what would happen if the camera Titan got reinfected in episode 14. Unique Cluckman out.